From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. A federal commission of inquiry into foreign interference is slated to release a report today on alleged meddling into the last two general elections.
The report will focus on the integrity of the two elections and assess the flow of information to senior decision-makers during campaigns and in the weeks following the votes. The ongoing inquiry will next shift to a broader policy issue, looking at the ability of government to detect, deter, and counter foreign interference. A final report is expected at the end of the year. John Kennedy, The Canadian Press.
Meantime, a new poll suggests a majority of Canadians feel their right to freedom of speech is in danger. The Leger online survey found 57% of respondents who said free speech in Canada is under threat. Of those, 34% said it was somewhat threatened, while 23% said they consider the threat a serious one. Some 36% said their free speech rights were in no danger, while 7% said they didn't know or did not answer. A Winnipeg judge is expected to decide today whether the trial of a man accused of killing 4 women will still be heard by a jury.
Lawyers for Jeremy Skibicki have asked that his jury trial, which is set to begin Wednesday, be heard by a judge alone. The defense has argued that 2 years of publicity surrounding the high-profile case may have biased the jurors. A U.S.-based psychologist who has studied jury bias told court this week that news coverage of the slayings of the 4 women has been consistent and emotional. Skibicki has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Rebecca Contois, Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, and a 4th unidentified woman Indigenous leaders have named Buffalo Woman. Brittany Hobson, The Canadian Press, Winnipeg.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has collected his first victory over new rival Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie. The Progressive Conservatives cruised to 2 convincing victories in by-elections last night in Milton and Lambton, Kent, Middlesex. Western University political science professor Cameron Anderson says Milton is among the key ridings in the 905, where the election in 2026 will be won.
And so holding on to this seat and doing so, quite convincingly at this stage should be really emboldening for the Conservatives.
Ford says the results are a repudiation of Crombie. And finally, grocery co-ops may not be common here in Canada, but in some communities like Nelson, BC, they are a way of life. Amanda Verrigan, sales manager at the Kootenay Co-op, says the co-op reinvests all of its profits back into the community through employee pay, donations, and member credits.
We want to be profitable because in order, then we can be here. And then it's what we really do with those profits that matters.
Verrigan says she thinks co-ops give people a sense of hope that they can help address widespread problems like climate change and corporate consolidation within their own community. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Vancouver Canucks need just 1 win tonight to book their ticket to the second round of the NHL playoffs. Vancouver carries a 3-2 lead in their best-of-7 opening round series into Nashville, taking on the Predators. The Canucks fell 2-1 on Tuesday with a chance to take the series in 5 games. Elsewhere, Dallas looks to earn a backdoor sweep against Vegas in Game 6. The Toronto Maple Leafs lived to see another day last night. William Nylander scored twice and Joseph Woll made 22 saves as the Leafs earned a 2-1 home win over the Boston Bruins, forcing a Game 7 this Saturday at TD Garden in Boston. The last time that Toronto came back from a 3-1 deficit to win a series was all the way back in 1942. Meanwhile, the Toronto Blue Jays will be in Washington to open a 3-game series against the Nationals, aiming to snap a 2-game skid. Toronto dropped the final 2 of 3 games at home against Kansas City earlier in the week. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.